That damn predator. They didn't catch up, right?
Oh, shit.
It's you, Warden. So you were the predator this whole time, Zayne. I'll have you know I donated money to build a statue in front of the city hall. I'm Lincoln's most...
Oh shit. The ice shards pierce his body and silence him.
I don't need to know that.
Boss.
Troubled, I stare at the words case closure report form on my computer screen. My junior leans over from her workstation and calls out to me in a low voice. Shh, we're still in the office. The bureau chief might nag you if he hears you.
Okay, Miss Enforcer. I heard the bureau chief say the serial killer we're investigating murdered the councilman yesterday. They also said they're closing the case and won't pursue it any further.
Why does this keep happening? I turn my attention to the serial killer's file and start reading it. The suspect is male, real name unknown. The Lincoln City Bureau of Investigation, or LCBI, gave him the codename Gallon. Over the past 5 years, Gallon has been responsible for numerous crimes targeting political figures and business tycoons. In addition, there have been eyewitness reports of Gallon killing predators who have lost their minds across Lincoln. After conducting multiple on-site investigations, the LCBI has determined that Gallon isn't an ordinary person. He's a predator. In triple S class 1 to be exact, this is the highest threat level one can receive.
Whenever we're halfway through an investigation, they close the case. But Galen is strange too. He's a predator, yet he's killing other predators.
Have you finished analyzing the security camera footage I asked you to check a few days ago?
I have. Take a look at this. The last trace of Galen shows him passing by Oxo Clinic in the Southern District.
What? Hearing that familiar name, I can't help but freeze for a moment.
Yeah, it's Oxo Clinic. Is there a problem?
It's nothing. Did the security cameras get a clear image of the serial killer?
I'm afraid not. He seems to know the area well and managed to avoid them. What do you think? Is it possible that Galen used to live in the Southern District?
You have a point. If it is really him.
But the footage is from last year. We couldn't find him back then, so can we even track him down with this?
I pull out a stack of papers from my desk and flip through them. These are the files of Galen's victims that I've been investigating. Whether they're well-known businessmen or political figures, all the victims have one thing in common. After the Predator virus outbreak 5 years ago, they were involved in its secondary transmission. They even profiteered from the situation. The killer's motive is now obvious. The murdered councilman from last night was one of them. Investigating Galen will inevitably uncover the shady deals of powerful figures. No wonder the LCBI keeps insisting I close this case immediately. Cowards. My phone buzzes. A travel ad pops up on the illuminated screen. I tap on it and a screen unfolds. Vast snowfields, spruce trees covered in fresh snow, and a snowman wearing a scarf. Maybe I should just walk away from this. Why should I care about what happens in Lincoln? I might as well move to a place that hasn't been touched by the Predator virus and live a carefree life. I can start over from scratch. I sigh and my gaze falls onto the surveillance footage my subordinate gave me once more. It was the only lead on Galen that the LCBI managed to obtain in the past 5 years. It's been a long time since I heard the name Axo. Zayne, I wonder where he is now. After careful consideration, I pick up the motorcycle keys from my desk and stand up.
Are you going to investigate Oxo Clinic?
I give a small smile and gently guide her back to her seat. I'm taking some time off. Can you let our chief know? I went to Axo Clinic. Of course, I can't openly admit I'm investigating a case that was ordered to be closed, especially when it involves many crucial secrets. The streets of the Southern District feel strange yet familiar, long before I find myself standing in front of Axo Clinic. As I push open the dust-covered glass door, it feels like a switch is flipped in my mind. Fragments of memories rush in at the same time. It all started 5 years ago. At the time, I wasn't an enforcer in the Northern District. I was a bounty hunter scraping by the Southern District. I took whatever jobs I could get. In an unexpected turn of events, I was bitten and wounded by a predator. I spent what felt like an eternity searching for a clinic, clutching my injury. I finally collapsed at the doorway of Axo Clinic. The pain slowly subsided. It seemed my wound was treated and bandaged.
You're awake.
In stark contrast to the gentle hands that had carefully treated my injury, their owner's face was as emotionless as a glacier. Was I unconscious for a long time?
Zayne. And to answer your previous question, it's been 3 hours. That's a long time, I believe.
I thought doctors were supposed to have good bedside manners. This guy didn't get the memo. My eyes shifted from the open until 10 p.m. sign on the wall to the clock. It was midnight. My gaze then shifted to the side room where I saw several pet carriers of various sizes. A kitten suddenly jumped onto Zayne's shoulder. I leaned down to look me straight in the eye. Am I in a vet clinic?
Behave. And get down, please.
Looks like he treats cats better than people. I moved my arm a little before getting up to leave. A bottle of medicine was quickly thrust in front of me.
Take these when the pain becomes severe. No more than 2 a day.
Whew, this medicine looks expensive. No thanks. I don't have a lot of money, so I can't afford to buy it.
It's free. Happy birthday.
He places the medicine bottle in my hand. Huh? What?
I saw your patient profile in the system. Your birthday is the same as today's date. Consider it a gift. But judging by your expression, some of that information isn't accurate.
Zayne is right. It's a date I randomly made up when filing out forms as a kid. I can't believe it's actually today. As I looked at the bottle of medicine in my hand, which was elevated to a gift, I hesitated. Then I decided to keep it to myself. I reacted that way because this is the first time I ever received a birthday gift.
I see. Well, you can go now.
His dismissal was so sudden that it stunned me. Before I can fully process what happened, Zayne's back already faced me. He was seated at a microscope, and I couldn't help but reveal a small, bewildered smile. Thank you for the gift, Dr. Zayne. The date might be made up, but what I said was true. This was the first birthday gift I've ever received. I have a secret. A few years ago, a radiation leak in a lab in the Northern District triggered a wave of psychic disturbances that soon swept over Lincoln City, warping the minds of ordinary people and turning many into violent predators. One bite from these predators was all it took to spread the infection, transforming others in their wake. Fear settled over the city, and in an instant, no one felt truly safe. However, I'm immune to this disease. Zayne discovered this while treating my wound. After that day, I found myself frequently visiting Axo Clinic to gauge Zayne's reaction. But he never said a word about it. He silently protected my secret. Through my frequent visits, I discovered something about this taciturn, seemingly aloof veterinarian. Zayne is also a predator. And just as he kept my secret, I remained silent about his condition. Our shared secrets brought us together at Axo Clinic. Even though Zayne rarely initiated a conversation, he never asked me to leave. Time flew just like that. Before long, I had to say goodbye to him. Dr. Zayne. The familiar figure was still hunched over the microscope. I walked into Axo Clinic with my pet turtle in my arms. Zayne slightly tilted his head to glance at me.
Neither you nor the turtle appear to be injured. Why are you here?
I'm leaving. I wanted to say goodbye in person. His hand paused on one of the microscope's adjustment knobs. Zayne turned to face me.
Where?
I'll be heading to the Northern District, the LCBI, here. I showed him my phone screen with the job offer from the LCBI, with its official seal at the bottom. For some reason, he was unusually quiet. Don't look so sad. I'm only moving to the Northern District. I'll still visit whenever I can.
Give me your hand.
Yes, sir. Why?
The LCBI staff frequently interact with the predators. To ensure their employees don't become one, they conduct routine blood tests. If you want to keep your secret, give me your hand.
While I was skeptical, I trusted him. I offered him my hand. He quickly brought out a tourniquet and secured it around my arm. How do you know? It wasn't mentioned in the recruitment posters or the job offer.
Your turtle is about to fall off the table.
Oh, no, not my turtle! Even though I knew it was a distraction, I still turned to look. As I reached out with one hand to catch my turtle, Zayne quickly inserted a needle into my other arm. Bright red blood slowly filled the syringe. I couldn't help but crack a joke. They say blood gets predators really riled up. You worked as a veterinarian for years. Has the sight of blood ever made you go into a frenzy? I also heard that some predators have an activator implanted in them when they enter a frenzied state, finding that activator is the only way to calm them down. Do you have one by any chance?
Are you certain you want to discuss this while I'm drawing your blood?
It's not like I have other predator friends to talk to.
Don't move.
Yes, sir.
Also, you wouldn't be sitting here asking questions if I lost control that easily.
Once he was done taking my blood, he walked to a cabinet, retrieved a few small vials, and returned to his desk to mix something. A few minutes later, he gave me a bottle of capsules.
One capsule lasts 2 hours. It should be enough to get you through the medical examination.
You know, I secretly thought you lacked bedside manners when we first met.
If you're looking for a warm, kind-hearted doctor, try the clinic down the street. You might have better luck there.
Oh, that won't be necessary. It turns out my first impression was wrong. I have first-hand experience with your care now. It's just, you should smile a little more. You look more approachable then.
I'm too busy for that. Smiling isn't in my schedule.
After tidying up his desk, Zayne walked to the building's entrance and flipped the open sign to close the clinic for the day. The sunlight outside was inviting. I sat on the steps by the clinic's entrance and tugged at Zayne's sleeve. I gestured for him to join me. Despite his apparent reluctance, he sat down next to me. Aren't you curious about why I want to join the LCBI?
If you want to tell me, you may.
Well, I feel like Lincoln is my home. I grew up here and I want to do something for it. As a bounty hunter, I can only do so much, but as an enforcer, I might be able to make a difference. I raised my hand until my fingers appeared to bridge the gap between the northern and southern districts. I touched the corner of the LCBI building in the distance.
The Northern District is 100 times more dangerous than this place. Be careful.
I heard from other bounty hunters that you were from Northern District. Is that true?
Yes.
I guess we'll eventually run into each other in the Northern District someday. It'll be something to look forward to, Dr. Zayne. After that, I was swept up in a whirlwind of work. I barely had a moment to catch my breath. It wasn't until my first vacation that I finally had the chance to return to the Southern District and visit Zayne. But he was gone. Axo Clinic was covered in a thick layer of dust. The aloof doctor vanished into the distant memories of my past, just like that. Although it's been 5 years, the memories are as crisp and clear as a freshly printed document. Inside Axo Clinic, everything remains the same. Every piece of furniture and item is in the spot I remember them being in, all familiar to me like the back of my hand. The investigation comes first. I scan the room, but before I can activate my iris scanner, the door behind me bursts open. Who's there? In one swift motion, I draw my gun and turn. I aim my weapon at the intruder, but he sneers and raises his hand in mock surrender.
Really, Enforcer? You can't recognize your own colleagues now. Oh, wait. You're not one of us anymore.
Rude. With a wave of his hand, the Enforcer signals his teammates. I'm surrounded by a swarm of Enforcers with their weapons pointed at me. What do you think you're doing? Are you here to arrest me? What's your warrant, and who authorized this? As if he's been waiting for me to ask that, the Enforcer produces a formal document with an official stamp.
The LCBI has evidence of your involvement in smuggling an illegal substance, Frenzy Enhancer.
What now? What? I never...
This is your termination notice. Your arrest warrant and order to apprehend you were signed by the bureau chief himself.
What?
Give up.
I try to resist, but it's pointless. I'm outnumbered in the situation. Someone framed me.
Save your excuses for prison. Who knows? Maybe our kind-hearted warden will be more amicable to your story.
Oh god. Predator's prison. Oh, it looks great. The LCBI usually interrogates suspects before transferring them to the prison. Throwing me into a cell like this, something's not right. As a theory forms in my mind, I can't help but let out a bitter laugh. First, they shut down my investigation, and then this happens. They must be desperate to cover up their schemes of profiting from the virus.
0905, out!
Why?
The warden wants you.
Oh god. I don't know if I'm ready. I begrudgingly follow the guard through the long corridor as we make our way to the second floor.
That warden's gonna tear you apart! Saves us the trouble.
Maybe I want it, I don't know. The prisoner's shrill taunts fill my ears. Annoyed, I shake my head. I look at the cells around me. Each one has a predator I arrested over the past 5 years. They threw me into a den with my enemies. I guess they want me to disappear without a trace. You're getting on my nerves. Can't you all shut? A bone-chilling cold suddenly surges up from the ground. It's as if everything is frozen in place, yet I can move around freely. The shouting around me has stopped, but I don't know what has happened. On the second floor's corridor of the prison, a tall figure stands in the darkness. His face is obscured.
Silence!
A biting chill permeates the air as the prisoners are frozen in thick layers of ice.
This is the punishment for not learning to keep your mouth shut. Take her to my office.
I've been so naughty! He turns and leaves, and I only catch a glimpse of his retreating figure. But that's all I need to recognize who he is. Zayne? Why is he here?
Sit down, and don't try anything funny while you wait. The warden will be here soon.
Yes, sir. You shackled me to this chair. I can't move even if I wanted to. I listen closely as the guard's footsteps fade away. Once I know he's gone, I quickly twist my wrist and free myself from the restraints. Ooh, I sneaky. He really made sure they were tight. My wrists are killing me, and the chair is as comfortable as a rock. My eyes are drawn to the leather chair behind the desk. Without hesitating, I turn around and make myself comfortable. I cross my legs as I sit. Now this is better. Zayne's office. Large stacks of files are meticulously arranged on the desk by size. A few loose papers are perfectly aligned at the corners. They're held in place with a paperweight. My right hand can easily reach the pen holder because of its current position. As I sit here, I can almost imagine Zayne's workday. From veterinary at Axo Clinic to warden. It looks like he found his own path during these 5 years. I wheel the chair between the bookshelves and scan the contents. Amongst the tomes is a small box. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Are these candies? Just as I lean in to get a closer look, footsteps resound outside the door. I rush back to my original chair and pick up the discarded restraints. Panicking, I try to put them back on so it looks like I never moved. But I'm a second too late. As Zayne walks into the office, he sees I'm in the middle of wrapping the heavy restraints around my arms.
What are you doing?
So good. Fuck. I'm helping you check to see if these are working properly. What about you? Why are you here? Being a veterinary didn't work, so you became a warden instead? To mask my guilt, I decided to go on the offensive and question Zayne first.
I suppose it's also difficult to be an enforcer, since you switched career paths. I see prison happened to be your first choice.
Zayne walks to the desk and methodically empties the evidence bag. My enforcer badge and phone emerge. He then retrieves a file box from the bookshelf and places its contents on the desk.
You smuggled frenzy enhancer. The life of an enforcer is more exciting than I imagined.
I take 2 steps forward and close the file. I was framed. I've never done stuff like that. The LCBI's procedures are strange this time around. They never presented any evidence or witnesses. I didn't even get interrogated.
When the charges, evidence, and witnesses are fabricated, presenting them is almost pointless. As for these irregularities you spoke of, to a majority of people who are unfamiliar with these procedures, it would appear the LCBI is eager to punish a law-breaking employee. They can easily spin this story to the public as them responsibly cleaning house.
So, are you siding with the LCBI, Warden? You don't plan to release me? I had no idea a person's guilt could be decided so easily. I'm impressed with the justice system. Efficacy. I deliberately say each word slowly. Defiant, I furrow my brow and lock eyes with Zayne. Will I have a better chance of achieving my goal if I stopped here and voluntarily brought up our past? Maybe. But I can't bring myself to use our time together as leverage in the situation. I don't know why.
Why don't we listen to this first?
Oh god. Zayne slightly lowers his head, reaches into a desk drawer, and pulls out a voice recorder. He slides it across the table towards me and pushes the play button.
These are voices from within the LCBI. I would assume you're more familiar with them than I am.
The bureau chief, the operations sector manager, and the enforcer who arrested me. The recording details the entire process of a plot to frame me. My arrest and imprisonment are their crowning achievements. Well, I don't experience this every day. I get to listen to people scheming against me.
You'll inevitably be more eye-catching when you're in a high position.
I barely had the chance to shine before they decided to get rid of me. What a grand spectacle I turned out to be. You don't plan on handing over that voice recorder, right? By letting me listen to it, you're trying to see if you can make a deal with me?
You're quick on the uptake. It seems you matured a little since then.
Wow, rude. Zayne proposes I become his informant within the prison. My objective is to get closer to a certain prisoner. His name is Levi. He's a former employee of Ever's Biological Sciences Research Department. 5 years ago, he was involved in a series of classified experiments. Rumors suggest that after those experiments, the Predator virus first appeared in Lincoln and began to spread uncontrollably.
You need to obtain a list of personnel from him. It will ideally name everyone involved with the classified experiments. I believe that with your investigation skills, gaining his trust shouldn't pose much of a challenge. Once you complete this task, I can either clear your name or create a fake identity so you can leave Lincoln City. The choice is yours.
Noticing my hesitation, Zayne sits down and slides the voice recorder towards me again.
I could simply give you this and let you walk out. However, the people targeting you won't give up so easily. You might have the misfortune of getting more than just a prison sentence next time.
What if I told everyone that the warden is a predator and he's secretly running a prison filled with other predators? I know it's an empty threat, but I can't help but push my luck.
Go ahead. Let's see who they're more likely to believe, the warden or a prisoner accused of smuggling frenzy enhancer.
He got us there. Agree to assist. I don't really have a choice, huh? You're less like a doctor and more like a wolf wearing a white coat.
Why, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
I take the voice recorder. My frustration is obvious as I rack my brain for a way to gain the upper hand in this conversation. We'll discuss what happens after our deal once I succeed. If you want my help, then you should let me set some conditions.
So long as they're within my jurisdiction, we can discuss them.
In that case, I want a private cell, I want to freely move around, I want special meals at night, I want my pet turtle. I want to freely move around. Aside from the usual prison stuff, I want to freely move around.
What will you do with this freedom?
I narrow my eyes and reveal a mischievous smile. What will I do with this freedom? I can do a lot of things. Maybe I'll walk around when I'm bored, or I'll secretly observe the warden all day.
I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. My workday isn't exactly riveting.
I can make it riveting.
Considering our need to monitor certain individuals, however, I suppose I could allow it. Whether or not the guards will cooperate, it's hard to say.
Pet turtle. I want you to bring my pet turtle here. Sure, it'll live for a long time, but that doesn't mean it can survive without food and water. I also don't have anyone who can take care of it in my place.
All right.
I want a private cell. I want a private cell, preferably one quietly tucked away in a corner. Zayne rubs his fingertips as if to contemplate. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but I can see a hint of amusement playing at the corners of his mouth.
All right. Keeping you away from the other inmates will lower the chances of any incidents occurring by 50%.
What kind of incidents? I'm the textbook example of a law-abiding citizen. I would never stir up trouble on purpose.
Perhaps. However, when self-defense is involved, I'm afraid that's another story.
I want special meals prepared for me every night. The slop they serve in the prison cafeteria is too miserable for my stomach. Fried chicken, barbecue skewers, hot pot steak. Don't you crave food like that one after spending so much time in prison?
I'm not a prisoner. I can have all of those whenever I leave this place.
Then why don't you take me?
The answer is no.
Oh, come on. I hold out my hand to Zayne. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Warden.
Likewise, Miss Informant.
Oh, before I forget, I have one more thing to add to my list of conditions. Can I take this box of candy with me before I go? Smirking, I point to the container hidden among the books, and for the first time, I see a crack in Zayne's usually stoic expression.
You can.
The prison the warden manages is under the court system's jurisdiction. All captured predators in Lincoln are here. The warden himself is mysterious and rarely appears in person, unless it's absolutely necessary. The fact very few people have seen him was often discussed in whispers during my time in the LCBI. Now that I think about it, his reputation for being mysterious and rarely appearing probably stems from two things. First, Zayne has always been this way, and he needs to hide the fact he is a predator. There's no way I believe working with Zayne will go smoothly. But no matter how much I'm prepared myself, I didn't expect my first challenge to be...
Why don't you sit with me, boss?
Don't listen to him, boss. Sit over here instead.
In the cafeteria, I stand with my tray. I'm not sure how to deal with the eager faces blocking my paths.
Boss, tell us how you managed to survive the warden's interrogation.
I showed him my titties.
Come on, share your secrets. You're the first one we've ever seen come back alive. The people before who met him? Well, they're dead now.
What has Zayne been doing in this prison? These inmates are probably two-faced. They'll say something else when my back is turned. I shouldn't get too involved with them. Excuse me, move out of the way, please. I don't have anything special to share. I'm more concerned about getting food in my stomach. I'm about to shake them off when I spot my target. Levi is standing in the sea of people. Well, if you really want to know about my experience, it's nothing too extraordinary. I clear my throat, and sure enough, Levi turns his gaze towards me. I'll make my presence known for now, then I can try to talk to him in private later. First things first, you need to keep your cool. Don't let him see you sweat. If you're negotiating, you need to have a useful skill or two, like lockpicking. Trust me, when you're restrained to a chair, knowing how to pick a lock can be the difference between life and death. A familiar chuckle rises from the crowd. For a moment, I think my ears are playing tricks on me. When I find the owner, I know I'm not seeing things. Zayne is standing right in front of me, however. Jesus Christ.
That guy's fresh meat, boss. I don't know why he's here, but they say he's one of the predators with a laundry list of crimes.
Can you move over? I want to eat here.
He's already marking his territory? This baby's got some guts.
Okay. I'm shocked. Then I look at Zayne and mouth to him. Don't tell me you're here just to see me squirm. Oh, I'm squirming. Oh, fuck. Zayne glances in my direction, but doesn't respond. Instead, he calmly navigates through the crowd and sits next to me. He stares, eating his meal as if he doesn't have a care in the world. He starts eating. I'm so distracted by the fucking nipple that's out. Oh, Jesus. All right, the show's over. Beat it. I need to talk to our new friend here.
You're doing well behind bars. As expected of an enforcer.
Well, I have someone's notorious reputation to thank for that one. One quick trip to the office put me above everyone else.
Are you referring to those rumors? They're nothing more than necessary deterrents against the predators.
I'm about to chuckle at his remark when I notice Levi is still watching me. I quickly compose myself and look at Zayne with a stern expression.
He knows who you are. You're the renowned enforcer from the LCBI. The media covered your exploits in apprehending the predators.
Oh? Then did you watch their reports?
There were so many of them. It was hard not to.
I bet the headlines only talk about the murder of that councilman now, though. I observe Zayne's face to see if there's any sort of reaction. Unsurprisingly, he remains unfazed. He doesn't even pause in his meticulous efforts to remove every last carrot from his meal. So even the high and mighty warden is a picky eater.
Food preferences aren't limited by one's rank.
Be honest with me. Why are you interested in that list of personnel?
Does it matter to you?
Of course, we're working together, so we should at least be honest with each other. You seem to know everything about me, but I'm in the dark when it comes to you. This kind of one-sided partnership doesn't inspire confidence. Zayne sets down his chopsticks and his expression becomes solemn.
I need to recover the solution that can cure the predators of their disease. Long before everything began, the lab researching protocore veins had already discovered it might be the cause. The formula for the solution was also nearly complete. It was when Ever stepped in and conducted those secret experiments that the radiation leak occurred, along with the theft of the formula.
So you believe the culprit is involved with those experiments? Zayne nods. It's possible, but how do you know all this?
I was one of the researchers.
Okay. Huh?
Did my honesty put you at ease?
My chopsticks freeze in midair as I'm about to eat. I'm stunned by this bombshell that was casually dropped. My brain short circuits for a moment, gathering my thoughts. I brace myself. I try to ask more questions while pretending to be calm. So the murders of those officials and businessmen who profited from the Predator virus were also because...
Lunchtime's over.
No! 5 more minutes!
You certainly became quite the investigator.
Wait, one last question. I'll touch his chesty. As he gets up to leave, I grab the hem of his shirt. What fucking shirt? Why are you pretending to be a prisoner?
It's because my informant seems to have made a few enemies here.
I can make a few more. It's nap time. I lie back on the bed after feeding my turtle, but I'm still wide awake. I can't fall asleep. Zayne, I wonder how many new looming shadows he got in the past 5 years. I'm not sure if he's still the person I once knew so well. What's his goal? Will he use the solution to save people? Would it be naive of me to assume that? Maybe he wants to profit from this too. Restless and anxious, I toss and turn in bed. Something under my pillow digs into my cheek. I lift up my pillow and find the box of candy I took from Zayne's office. It's tasty. As the sweetness floods my mouth, my suspicions about him slowly melt away. Someone with a sweet tooth can't be a villain, right? Getting close to someone and digging up information is child's play for me. Day 2. It's your time. In the surveillance camera's blind spot, I rub my wrists and nudge the Predator's inmates I took us down a side with my foot. Then I extend my hand to Levi, who's huddled in a corner. Alright, I dealt with all of them. You can get up now. I notice the syringe he's trying to hide. Chuckling, I take it from him and turn it over in my hands. Frenzy Enhancer. One shot turns a Predator into a raging powerhouse. It's the go-to choice for a prison break. Giving out Frenzy Enhancer in prison, you live up to your reputation for being an Ever employee. But you're terrible at this. Your clients are threatening you before you even settle on a price. You suck at being a drug dealer.
Why did you butt in? It's none of your business. You're not an enforcer anymore. You have no right to touch me.
I'm gonna kick your ass, Levi. Of course I won't lay a finger on you, but... I turn Levi around and direct his attention to Zayne, who's sitting nearby. The same can't be said about him. Did you know he's got himself thrown in here so he can kill you? Zayne looks over. I meet his gaze and silently urge him to play along with the story I made up to win Levi's trust. That's a good photo. I take that one. Poor Levi's gonna shit himself.
What do you want?
Isn't it obvious? I threw myself into a cell to protect you. I lean towards Levi's ear and make sure the words are oozed with sincerity. Even though you're a predator, Ever hasn't given up on you. Levi remains on high alert. A made-up story isn't enough to lower his guard. It'll take a while for me to win his trust and get him to talk about the list of names I need. Meanwhile, Zayne's using his authority as warden and orders a crackdown on Frenzy Enhancer in the prison. He is subtly pushing Levi into a corner. I bide my time. It won't be long until Levi comes to me. However, I didn't anticipate things to go the way they did. What's going on over there?
Someone's trying to break out with Frenzy Enhancer. Again. That stuff is bad. I tried it once and nearly lost it. I almost turned into a monster, you know? Luckily, I managed to keep it together.
I'm about to ignore the whole thing until I see Zayne standing in the crowd. I hesitate before deciding to approach him. As I get closer, bone-chilling cold envelops me. A shiver runs down my spine. A razor-sharp icicle erupts from the ground and impales the inmate, driven insane by the frenzy enhancer. A swarm of prison guards rushes to the scene with weapons and riot shields. They quickly form an impenetrable barrier around the exit. Zayne glances at the predator lying on the ground. Then his gaze shifts to the one standing still.
Whose side are you on? Are you one of us, or just a puppet? If you're on our side, then why the hell are you killing your fellow predators? I swear, I'm getting out of here today. Whatever it takes.
The frenzied inmate injects the frenzy enhancer into his neck. He can't handle the violent stimulation and is overwhelmed by the sudden surge of strength. He falls to his knees, but in the next second, it's as if an invisible force yanks him up. Like a zombie, he lunges at Zayne.
They're dead. They're dead.
All the predator's inmates have backed away. They leave Zayne alone as he stands in the grisly scene of ice and blood. Worry, surprised, and murderous gazes are fixated on Zayne. The air crackles with tension. He could become the target of their collective wrath at any moment. A voice inside me screams that I have to get him out. I can't leave him here. Zayne. When Zayne sees me, his emotionless expression flickers for a moment.
Don't just stand there.
I grab his wrist and pull him away from the chaotic mess. Good photo. Dodging the watchful eyes of the prison guards, I decided to lead Zayne to his office. It's the safest place I can think of. Take that one too. But after guiding him through the corridors for what feels like an eternity, I realize I don't know how to get to his office from here.
Are you giving me a tour of my own prison? Perhaps I should show you around instead.
Do I get points for trying? It's late. The prison, still reeling from the recent incident, is steeped in an unsteady silence. From the top of the watchtower, I gaze out at the courtyard. The chaos from earlier seems small and distant. You probably have a target on your back now. Everyone will be watching you and waiting for an opportunity to strike. I'm not in the mood to appreciate the night scenery. Instead, I lean against the railing as I look at Zayne.
And by dragging me away in front of everyone, you're in the same boat as me.
But I'm close to getting my hands on that list. This whole thing will be over soon.
In that case, congratulations. You'll be free soon.
I shake my head. There's no real freedom here. The city before us is like a scale model. The northern and southern districts are divided as two distinct cages within the same skyline. Zayne, is there a place you'd like to see? Have you ever thought about leaving Lincoln?
No.
Although I had a feeling you'd say that, hearing it still makes me wearily smile. You have a knack for shutting down conversations. It's quiet for a bit, then I take a step towards him. My feet touch Zayne's shadow. When this is all over, do you want to leave with me?
Where do you want to go?
I haven't really thought about it that much, but I know I won't be staying in Lincoln. Maybe I'll head to a small remote town. It'll be a place without any predators. As I ponder this, Zayne asks another question.
What do you think the LCBI will do once they catch the serial killer they've been chasing after for 5 years?
Interrogation, detention, trial, and conviction. Specific charges would determine the final outcome.
I imagine it won't end well for him.
But the LCBI is full of cowards. I'm the only one who dared to go after you.
Is that so?
I don't know the answer. I notice his slightly downcast gaze and realize something. I might not be able to take him with me. I look away and gaze at the Southern District in the distance, where Axo Clinic is located. Do you want to end this as a guilty man? Or would you rather leave your past behind and start anew? He doesn't answer, or maybe his response is carried away by the wind that howls around us. After the small riot, Zayne and I become the most feared individuals in the entire prison. Levi should have felt the same way. However, the rapport we built over the past few months was what solidified his trust in me. Maybe seeing Zayne kill a predator got to him. The next morning, he gave me the list of names I was after. And just like that, I finished my task. At lunch, I place a carrot on Zayne's tray. It's a signal we agreed upon. Yet, as we sit across from each other, I find myself wishing our farewell could be delayed for a little while longer.
"0905, it's time for the warden's interrogation."
As night falls, Zayne summons me to the interrogation room, using his authority as warden. It's all part of the plan. Oh! Once the guard's footsteps fade, I easily slip out of my restraints again. There are rumors about me escaping the warden's interrogations unscathed, but this is my first time in the interrogation room. Shit! That is an intense interrogation room! While waiting for Zayne, I pace back and forth. My attention is drawn to the array of interrogation tools mounted on the walls. No wonder Zayne had such a fearsome reputation. He has a wide variety of gadgets. Handcuffs, whips. What's this? I haven't even seen anything like this before. Oh, god damn it.
It's a clamp.
Oh, okay. Let's fucking go. Oh, Jesus. I turn around and see Zayne standing right behind me. He had entered the interrogation room without making a sound.
It's typically used to clamp a prisoner's fingers, so it can inflict intense pain.
What about other parts? What's not a typical use for it?
It can be hung on the wall as a decoration.
Okay. As he speaks, he takes a seat at a table off to the side. Only then do I notice the steaming hot food that will serve as a midnight snack. Is that supposed to be my last meal?
If that's what you want to call it.
Having what could potentially be my last meal while surrounded by torture devices, this is definitely a first. With a slight smile, I relay the names Levi had given me to Zayne. Once I finish listing everything, an unusual silence falls over the interrogation room. It's only broken by the occasional simmering noise.
The seventh provision, which discusses the containment of predators, will be in effect starting tomorrow. Certain predator organizations have already issued warnings about their retaliation. In other words, Lincoln can no longer be considered a safe place after tomorrow.
Come with me. I'll wait until the chaos dies down before...
You need to leave before then.
What I was about to say dies in my throat. I sigh, nod, and swallow the rest of my words. If I abruptly leave, the inmates will think I died during the warden's interrogation.
I'll fabricate a plausible charge for you.
5 years ago, I never could have imagined that I'd leave Lincoln as a criminal. Back then, I blink. 5 years felt like an eternity. I can barely recall why I went to the Northern District in the first place. I thought that by becoming an enforcer, an operations section manager, and eventually bureau chief, I could make Lincoln a slightly better place. Looking back, I see how incredibly naive those thoughts were.
Some things aren't easy to accomplish.
You told me the same thing 5 years ago.
Yet I was just as naive as you were back then.
Lost in his memory, Zayne lowers his head with a faint smile. As he recalls the past, his features appear noticeably softer.
When I still worked at the clinic, I believed that the solution would solve everything. But the effects of the mental anomalies had long since transcended the physical realm. Lincoln City was split in two, not just because of the mutations.
Is that why you chose to become the warden? I pick up my drink and gently clink it against the rim of Zayne's glass. To who we were 5 years ago.
To who we were 5 years ago.
My farewell with Zayne is as serene as I have anticipated. After finishing our meal, we climb the watchtower once more. We silently watch the last traces of moonlight. Now come back! Why you poof on me? Traces of moonlight fade over Lincoln's skyline. For the past few months, I felt like I had stepped into a snow globe where time was frozen. It wasn't until I left the prison that I realized winter had silently crept into Lincoln City. At home, I find myself in another snow globe of sorts. I rarely went outside for weeks. I lost myself in travel websites as I searched for a new place to call home. Several months later, breaking news appeared on every major news outlet. Ever had collapsed, and in its demise, the solution capable of curing the predators was made public. A long-standing barrier was finally crumbling. I knew Zayne was involved with this. As people flooded the streets, a photographer captured a poignant moment, an ordinary citizen and a predator tightly embracing each other. That night, I received a special delivery. It was a folder containing my prisoner information, the new identity Zayne prepared for me, and a voice recorder that could prove my innocence. The new life I yearned for had finally arrived. I want him to come with me. Come with me. The day before I leave Lincoln City, I can't resist dialing the number Zayne gave me 5 years ago. I know no one will answer. For the past 5 years, I only heard the lifeless beeping of a busy signal whenever I called. But even if I only hear it, I still want to listen to it one more time before I leave. To my surprise, the call actually goes through this time.
What is it?
It's nothing. I looked at the file. You came up with an impressive crime for me. I skirted around the real reason for my call. I idly flipped through the file as I tried to sound lighthearted.
You attempted to assassinate the warden, so you were killed on the spot. After all, the public sees him as a cruel, ruthless individual. No one would question the authenticity of the charge.
I guess I contributed to the warden's fearsome reputation. But aren't you worried about blowing your cover as a serial killer? What will the warden do in that scenario? The other end of the call is silent for a few seconds. When Zayne speaks again, he changes the subject.
When are you leaving Lincoln?
I'll be on a plane tomorrow morning. He has no intention of telling me anything else.
Have you decided where you'll settle down?
Yes. It's a small city that's far away from Lincoln. The winters are long there, but it's somehow always warm. I carefully choose my words, but I really want to ask if there will be a second reunion for us.
It sounds like a wonderful place.
Knowing he won't give me a definite answer, I can't bring myself to ask about our future. The words never leave my lips, even as our conversation comes to an end. My flight has been delayed until this evening. Thanks to the delay, I got a call from my ex-subordinate. It's related to the warden. All of Lincoln is in an uproar because of it. The warden, Zayne, is actually the triple S class predator serial killer Galen, whom authorities have been pursuing. As the perpetrator responsible for the deaths of multiple citizens, Zayne's trial will be conducted with all of Lincoln watching. The new era is on the horizon, and his execution will herald its beginning. Why would a serial killer they couldn't catch for 5 years be only exposed today unless... Forcing myself to calm down, I leave my home, but my pace quickens until I break into a run. I need to see Zayne one last time. I need to hear the truth from him. I need to know, can he actually end everything without regrets? While I'm no longer an enforcer, flashing my old badge is enough to get me past the unsuspecting guards. I navigate through the prison's corridors on a path I've walked countless times before. I've made my way to the second floor. Zayne has shut himself away in the interrogation room. It's the very same one where we said goodbye. I push open the door, and there he is, that familiar figure I haven't seen in a long time. Hearing me enter, he turns around. Surprise flashes across his face before his typical calm demeanor appears.
I recall you saying you'd be on a plane this morning.
So you deliberately waited until it was evening to release the news that I wouldn't find out?
Your presence here means my plan failed.
Your plan? My throat tightens. I'm not sure if what I feel is anger, but my fists are so tightly clenched that they start to hurt. You never intended to survive this. You've been planning to end it all, including yourself.
Every TV channel, newspaper, and radio station is announcing it. A new era will arrive with the breaking dawn. Lincoln is being set on the correct path. The murders and crimes of the past must also be eliminated. I thought you, as an enforcer, would understand that criminals must be punished for their past deeds.
The criminals have been punished. The predators and ordinary people get to live in peace, and Lincoln City will be ushered into a new era. But what about you? I take a step toward him to close the distance. Our heavy breaths mingle in the air between us. Zayne, have you gained anything from this? He doesn't answer. I take another step. Don't you want anything in this life? Stop talking about Lincoln, the virus, and the solution. What I want to know is related to you, Zayne. Have you ever wanted anything for yourself?
Are you here because you wanted to ask me that question?
What if I say yes? Will you answer me then? I look at him. We're so close to each other that our shadows merge into one. I'm about to take another step when Zayne suddenly furrows his brow. Grimacing, he turns away.
You should go.
No, I won't leave until you answer me. But Zayne, are you? Noticing Zayne's unusual expression, I grab his wrist. His skin is burning hot to the touch. He's about to go into a frenzy.
I told you. You should go.
No, I refuse. I walk away and lock the door to the interrogation room. They said that when a predator goes into a frenzy, the desire to have what they truly want overwhelms them. Zayne, have you ever gone into a frenzy before?
No. I know how to control myself.
You implanted an activator into yourself, didn't you?
But that doesn't mean a predator like me won't harm the person standing in front of them.
Try me. I won't become a predator.
You'll die.
You already killed me once before. You accused me of trying to assassinate the warden. I haven't gotten the chance to see if I could actually do it. I grab the chains hanging from the ceiling of the interrogation room and wrap them around Zayne's wrists. Do you have to restrain yourself all the time?
Is that what you want me to do?
No, At least that's not what I want right now. I take the muzzle from the wall and secure it around Zayne's head. I carefully fasten it. It doesn't resist and allows me to restrain him. I have no idea what's going on in his head. But I'll find out soon enough. Zayne grabs another chain and hands it to me. As he does this, I notice his gaze becomes more intense. His breathing is more ragged.
If you're trying to break someone's chains, don't be afraid of the danger they bring.
Wasn't I supposed to die here anyway?
This isn't a game.
Shit. Oh shit.
How far will you go until you're satisfied? I don't know what I'll do to you.
Oh my god. You're only going to hurt yourself more by fighting to stay in control.
Frenzy enhancer? You're going to use it on me?
Yes, the warden should be well aware of how to fight his people. Oh my god. No, I don't wanna! Stop holding yourself back. You need to confront your true self. Oh fuck.
You want me to submit?
Oh fuck.
Let me take what I desire first.
Oh my god.
Initiating full body scan of the target.
Why don't you touch me and find out?
What?
You're teasing me.
I don't fucking know. I'm
Still
gonna
not
fail.
enough.
Oh.
Are you going through the motions? Or are you toying with me? Don't you want to? Going?
Oh my god.
What will you do next? Don't stop. Impressive. Now, there's only one thing left to do. Become my prisoner or my master.
Oh my god.
You can never leave me.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Winter returns once more. As I watch the light snow falling outside my window, it dawns on me. Another year has passed since Zayne and I last parted ways in that interrogation room. In the aftermath of that day, I walked away on my own, the bitter truth that I couldn't take him with me. I'd known that all along. Even when he confessed that I was what he wanted, it wouldn't have stopped him. He's always been this way. Deep down, I've known it from the start. After moving to the small town, I severed almost all ties with Lincoln City. I made a conscious effort to avoid any news about him too. I convinced myself that if I didn't see anything about him, I wouldn't think about him anymore. Then, this morning, someone told me that a new doctor in town had opened a small clinic called Axo just a few blocks away. I rush home, snatch up my pet turtle from its cozy sunbathing spot, and dash off to Axo. After a year apart, the silhouette I learned for is finally before me once more.
What is it?
I'm not okay. Holy fucking shit. Dr. Zayne, I think my pet turtle might be sick. It's been really lethargic. It doesn't even want to sunbathe anymore. Can you take a look at it? Trying to hide the fact I'm breathless from my sprint, I stand in front of him. My gaze lands on his face.
Miss, this clinic only treats human patients.
I see. Detecting a hint of amusement in his voice, I can't help but mirror a smile. Oh, well, I think I'm coming down with something. Would you mind giving me a checkup? Hello? In the evening, I return with a bag of snacks from the store. The kitchen light is on and Zayne is cooking steak. My turtle watches him through the glass partition between the doorway and the kitchen. I'm home. I peek into the kitchen. Zayne stops what he's doing and faces me.
You can cut the cake. It's on the dining table.
What's the occasion? I walk over to the dining table where a freshly baked cake sits. Its enticingly sweet aroma permeates the room.
Today is a special day.
The cake is inscribed with the words, Happy New Beginning.
Happy New Beginning.
Oh my god!
If you're trying to break someone's chains, don't be afraid of the danger they bring.
Oh, maybe I'm supposed to lose the sanity. Okay.
You still want to get closer? Stop. Leave while you still have the chance. Condemning me? But you're the one at fault.
As my consciousness begins to fade, I feel a searing kiss on my lips. He seems to be saying something, but I can't hear his words. I'm not sure how much time has passed before the pain from my bite wound jolted me awake again. I find myself alone in the interrogation room. Zayne is gone. Unable to find him, I have no choice but to leave the prison. I catch my delayed flight and bid farewell to Lincoln City, my childhood home. I settle down in a small town and focus on finding a quieter life. I never see Zayne again. Oh god! I avoid any news reports that is related to him. So long as I don't look, he might still exist in this world. Snow greets the small town for the winter. Frost blooms on my window and obscures the scenery outside. The muddled sight reminds me of when my vision blurred after Zayne bit me. Suddenly, I recall what Zayne said to me in the interrogation room.
Goodbye.
I don't like this ending. I don't like this ending at all. The other one was so much better. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.